Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So excited to have you all in the studio today. It is such a great day, and of course, we're still here in the Black History Month. Of course, Black love, everything that just glorious under the sun of Black history. So today, I'll be talking to my guest, Janetha, as we talk about creating content. So here are a few clips. As we know, content is our life, right? We narrate it, we tell it how we feel, we showcase it, especially in our fashion, either in our food, whatever we may do, but we showcase our lifestyle and create our life to showcase to people how we operate. So the first clip you're going to see as, hey, age is just a number. Because of course, our silver fox are doing some marvelous and great things. Check this clip out as this young lady who's doing some great things and showing some beautiful and awesome outfits as she create This Is Who She Is.
So you're this,
Yeah.
but you're also this,
Yeah.
and you're this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Of course, we can showcase all three looks, variety of looks, no matter the age, right? So next, we have our next content creator as she showcases every Friday of what her style may be at any size, any age, just showcasing that, hey, this is what I do, this is my look, this is my style. And of course, style and fashion has no definition. Let's check it out.
Hey loves, it's me, Naomi Hartsey, Fat Fashion Girly, and we're back for Fat Fashion Friday. So today's a beautiful day in LA, and I'm just feeling a maxi skirt. Who doesn't love a long skirt? Who doesn't love a skirt in general? I am excited to style this. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but we're gonna see how this turns out. And this is the finished look. Very soft, very cute, very V-Day inspired. I don't know. I just feel like I'm ready for a picnic or ready to go on a stroll, even though I don't really walk. But, you know, what do you think? Let me know. Bye.
Shirley will let you know. Awesome tip, because I am a girl. I am truly a girl's girl. Definitely love my dresses and skirts, of course. Well, we're not Ebony custom skirt today, as well as our lovely red fire hot heart leopard print. I don't know. I seem like I can never get rid of that, but no here, no there. Again, we create in our life through content. So today I have my guest Janetha, who will be talking about narrating her content through her life, how she showcased, how she's doing things. She's in studio. So hey, Janetha, how are you, sis? Thank you so much for being here. So you get to hear from her, you get to see her in just a few minutes after these messages. Stay tuned for some great conversation.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So excited to have you all here. So now we're going to bring my guest on, Janetha, as we talk about narrating the content, making it our daily life. Hey, Janetha, how are you? We want to make sure we get our audio up. You can hear me, Janetha? So make sure.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I was on mute.
Oh,
I'm
no
doing
worry,
well
no
tonight.
worry.
How are
How are
you?
you? So glad to have you. So glad to have you. Thank you again. So let's jump right in. Can you tell people just a little bit about you, and then we're going to get right into our conversation?
Sure. So my name's Janetha Danielle. I am an Atlanta-based content creator in the fashion, travel, and lifestyle spaces, also incorporating just a little bit of home now. I have been creating content online since 2018. And so I'm excited to join your podcast today and so that I can tell people more about me and the why behind I create content.
Yes, thank you so much. So let's dive right on. So, of course, the infamous question, why? Why allow people into Janitha life? Just this little piece. And of course, we know people can be cruel, people can be nice, but why share your life with us?
I think it's simply because I am helping people along the way. And so every time I get an email about how someone is wearing a brightly colored piece of clothing, about how they've discovered a new brand that they love, that I love, talked about, those emails I get, those DMs, that's my why. It's somebody who's being just brave enough to live authentically, wear things they typically wouldn't wear. And when they send that to me or respond to one of my emails, it's motivation to keep me going.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So, by getting those emails and pouring into you, like, how does it make you feel to continue to keep pushing? Because I know once we start to share a piece of our life, when we look at the data, we see that okay, majority of people like that I like cooking or they like my fashion. What do
Mhm.
you see where your supporters take your where they showcase your love the most?
I would definitely have to say that it varies by platform.
Okay.
TikTok loves my travel content, or when I'm just simply taking off my makeup for the day and talking to the camera. Instagram loves fashion content, of course. And then as far as other platforms like Facebook and Pinterest, they just kind of love a mix of everything.
Yeah. That's always great to hear because it's surely just a piece of it's funny how we have to create our lives according to certain social media because you have
Hmm.
TikTok completely different from IG and TikTok is different from Facebook and so forth. So when you do that, do you find that to be easier or harder when you have to display certain things to create towards your social media?
It's a little easier because whenever I am capturing some content or I'm getting dressed for the day, I am sure just to get all the photos and all the videos so that I can repurpose them across my different platforms.
So now that you have this information, you're pouring it out, what do you love the most about doing content? Because again, we have to have this feeling, right? This joy that wakes us up to say, okay,
Mhm.
I am creating content. And it's like, okay, what is the joy? What is the excitement that finds you doing this content, this creation, minus the supporters? Because even if the supporters wasn't there, it's your joy and love that pushes you. So what is that joy and love?
It's definitely the opportunities that I've gotten simply from creating content. And it's not just about like brands that will send me, products and things like that, but also the sense of the opportunities and the community that I've built online. Since day
Mhm.
one, I said I wanted to be more than just pretty pictures. And I
Yeah.
feel like I've built a great sense of trust within my online community from simply,
Mhm.
sharing those deep scars and sharing, here's what I'm going through, here's real life, because so many people can relate. So the opportunities that I've gotten from working with different brands and then the community that I've built.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Now, so here's the thing. Yes, thank you, team. So, when working with brand, do you feel as though they match your whole scheme, your whole stilo? Because sometimes some brands they reach out and it's not my moral compass is not there. I don't want to work with you. So
Mhm.
when you work with brands, do you find yourself easy to have this conversation with them or how to create or change just to make sure that your narrative does not change for them or for your supporters?
Yes. So simply put, I'm not afraid of telling a brand no. Sorry, I can't do it. Sorry, I'm just not available for it. And so when it comes to that, I've gotten opportunities from brands that don't align with my content or don't align with my morals at all. And so I simply, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in that. And I think about the value that I can bring to my online community. And if I
Hmm.
don't feel as though this product or this piece of content is going to bring value to my online community, then I turn it down.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear because clearly, we don't want to change our trajectory of why we started. And we know that when brands or, any type of outside sources come in, they want to have, inject their whole theory onto us. And, we have to
Hmm.
keep it the mainstream, even though we may say, oh, this may give us great publicity, but you don't want to change the trajectory of how you're moving, how you're going. So if you could just if you just walk us through what does setting up looks like as you preparing your content, like what items do you need or how do you get your content out? We know there's certain things, but there's quite a few things that people don't know that it takes a lot of work or certain
Hmm.
things on how to set up, whether you by yourself, whether you have a tripod or you with your family or just somebody on the street. Can you just walk us through just a little of how this setup looks like as you create this content for your life during for your life?
Sure. So when I'm traveling, I always have a tripod with me. I have one in the car. I have like a small one that's about the size of my cell phone, so it can easily fit
Yeah.
in either one of my bags. So when I'm traveling, I don't like asking people to take my photos because I don't want anybody running off with my phone.
Yeah,
So I
true,
have no shame in just whipping out my tripod, using my Apple Watch as a shutter, and then taking my photos no matter where I am. When I'm shooting more so like home content or fashion content, it's always usually in the moment when it comes to home content of, oh, I just got this
true.
bright idea while I'm
Yeah,
making some wings or organizing something for the day. When mostly fashion content, and when I have opportunities to partner with brands, that's the
yeah,
content that has to be planned out well in advance. And I always start with just a brain dump. And then I think about the key words that I want to evoke. So most recently, I had a Valentine's theme photo shoot. And I had to think
hmm,
about a few keywords that I wanted people to look at and think these
yeah,
words about the photos. I wanted them to know that this woman was bold and confident and giving
mm,
just the right amount of sexy, but still classy at the same time. And so when I'm
yeah.
thinking about my poses, my outfits, and things like that, I'm thinking about how all of those things can align.
That's awesome. Now, they say life is content, right? Life is content.
Hmm.
So as you're going through, and of course, if I could just probably say out there, you're a planner just like myself, right? But it just
Hmm.
becomes that moment where, okay, I need to get this shot. I need to get this. Have you ever fell into those moments where it was just spontaneous? It just happened out of the blue. I got to get this. I have to have this type of shot or this type of arena. You may be in IKEA and hey, I need to get this. Have that moment ever happened? And if so, what happened during that time?
Yes. So I was actually in Walmart one day, and I saw this doll, and the doll was pretty much like an HBCU doll. It was an HBCU homecoming queen, kind of like
Okay.
that scientist. It had an afro. And I said, you know what? I've never seen anything like this. I loved dolls as a little girl.
Mhm.
And so I recorded maybe like three clips being 5 or 6 seconds apiece. And it went
Mhm.
viral at the time. Ended up with
Oh,
100,000 views. The retailer where I saw this doll at actually reached out to me and sent me my very own doll. Um, and they also sent me like a bunch of other goodies, including a coffee mug from the HBCU where I graduated from, which is Spelman. And so it was kind of like just in the moment. I created this video. It got so many views. People were like, I bought this for my daughter. I bought this for my niece. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the little girl inside of me is just so excited about this.
that's awesome because I bring that up because I need people to understand that sometimes spontaneous have to work. It has to come into play
Hmm.
because you recognize something great and you're trying to make it part of your content, and it just happened. And sometimes those are the ones that seem to spike or do well, and you're just out of the norm. The ones that you take your time, you're so tedious, you go over. You're like, how? 2 likes? Really? I did all this work. Two
Mhm.
likes for all of this, we all fall into that category, right? So now, do you use like some type of app in order to keep yourself to keep your content rolling, or you just write it down, or you just take it day by day?
So I typically will use the Notes app in my phone as well as like the entire Google Suite, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and things like that, just to stay organized. And so the photo shoot that I did that I mentioned earlier, I have that, under February 2024. So I know that anything I need to reference for this particular, I can go back and pull those photos, which is also good for staying organized and repurposing. Um, the Notes app in my phone is where I keep a ton of information, whether I'm like on a plane traveling or something like that, or just casually browsing through a store. I'll think about, oh, I have that. I can create content with that. Go to my Notes app, jot it down really quickly, and then old school paper and pencil. I do a brain dump every morning. So I would just
Okay.
think about, oh, you know what? That would be good to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Now, have you ever gone to like a workspace, or, to do any work, or you just find your space at home? And the reason why I ask that, because, quite a few people that I know that are content creators, they have to be in a certain atmosphere, right? In order to get all this drops and rain. And me, I don't. Right. I'm like yourself. I have my notes as well as paper and pencil. I keep things in folders because I have to, when it's there, I'm able to read it, put it down, and it's like,
Mhm.
photogenic, and it sticks with me, right? So photographic memory, it
Right.
sticks with me. So I know some people have to go to like these nice curated peer space, or some type of business room or space. Do you find yourself you have to do that in order for your juice to flow, or you just, it could pop off anywhere?
It really just depends on the kind of headspace that I'm in. So
Okay.
sometimes I'm like, I need a change of scenery after being in my apartment for maybe 3, 4 days without
Hmm.
going anywhere. And I'll say, okay, I need a change of scenery. I'm lucky to live in an area that has, multiple clubhouses that I have access to. I have a balcony that I can go out and, my ideas will start forming there, as well as, the typical coffee shops in my neighborhood that I can simply walk to and set up shop and then just kind of hone down on getting my ideas out. But also my favorite place, honestly, has got to be the library.
Oh yeah. Now I know in the nation's capital, the library here are phenomenal. They're great. The aesthetics are top notch, especially when you go further out. Like great. So I hear you surely on the library. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to
Mhm.
my guest Janetha as we talk about this new hobby that she picks up. So what is the hobby that you all decide that you may be thinking about or you want to do? And we're going to discuss some more about content creation with my guest Janetha after these messages. Latest news, today's news, current news, gossip news, you name it. I am your host with Coffee with Joy as I share any up-to-date news that's taking place around the world. But if you would like to check it out, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Joy, where I share the latest topic. I am your host with Coffee with Joy with today's topic. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy, for we are the top rated talk show in the world, soon to be, if not today. Great. So after these, we're going to watch a quick clip of my guest, Janetha, as a new hobby. Have you thought about taking up a new hobby? Let's check this clip. Awesome. So, of course, we could not play the sound. We did not want to get, of course, bitten by the YouTube police. So, you all can see surely that this is the new hobby. So, what made you decide that you wanted to do golf? Okay, Janetha, I think she's there. I think she'll come back in. Okay, Janetha, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So I was so I was saying that what made you decide that you wanted to do golfing, take up golf?
So it literally was just impulsive. I was home one day and I said, I need a new hobby. that does not involve going from store to store spending money that I don't need to spend. And so
Mhm.
I said, well, if I'm going to be, if I want to spend some money on something, let me learn something new that I feel could benefit not only my health and fitness, but my career as well. And
Yeah.
I simply looked for like affordable, golf classes near me. I found one, I did some research, and I started going. Admittedly, I've never actually, I still haven't played a round of golf yet. I have not built up my skills to that yet. But what I
Yeah.
do is I'll go to like a top golf or just like the driving range and hit some balls just to practice my swing.
Okay. Now, in the practice, do you get help, or you just go in there and say, "Hey, I am the new Tiger Woods, and I'm gonna just go ahead and swing it, do what I gotta do"? Do you do any pre-work? Do you have a trainer, or you just say, "Hey, I'm just gonna just knock it out the park. Just take it step by step"?
So I did have instructor for about a month. And then
Okay.
once I finished that course, it was just me, some golf clubs I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and the grass.
Mhm.
Well, the greens, like they call it. But it's been fun. I mean, it's fun to not know exactly what I'm doing. And so when I go out to the driving range and, the people that might be playing next to me will like, oh, here's a tip or a tip to help you out. And I'm always receptive to feedback when I'm on the golf course specifically, because 9 times out of 10, they always have more experience than I do. And
Right.
golf lessons can be pretty expensive. So if someone's out there and they're taking 20, 30 minutes with me, I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's awesome. And now, do you find yourself trying to be part of a league, like an amateur league, just to get more help? Because, taking up this hobby, I think is phenomenal, only because it's not many black women that are into golf. And granted, I don't know the statistics behind it, right, people? So don't come for me. I don't know the statistics, but I do know that I don't see many. Not to say there aren't many. I don't see many black women into golf. So I thought picking up golf was tremendously great, because that's not something that you see a lot of black women into that sport. And you really have to tolerate it, right? To me, that's like patience, especially from a spectator. You have to
Hmm.
really know what you're looking at, because it's not a fast pace like football, basketball, and baseball. It's, hey, and they may take time, look at the ball. And granted, this is just me viewing as I'm watching, the golf
Hmm.
channel. And when I say golf channel, it's a quick golf channel. So it's not, I'm not there watching, but the little that I do see, I can see that many people are very quiet, they're patient, they're taking their time. So do you find yourself joining a league so that you can get better, or is just going to continue just to be, just an outlet from the everyday norm?
In the future, perhaps later this year, I will join like an amateur league. I think the very next thing I'll do is just take like the next level of lessons to just find those skills a little bit.
Okay.
And then I know that there are now a number of like golf solo clubs. They
Mhm.
went viral on like TikTok and Instagram. And so I may consider joining one of those because I do want my new hobby to benefit me like
Yeah.
personally and professionally. And so I think it would be great to meet other women who also enjoy the sport of golf. Or one day, if I'm, meeting these executives or I'm meeting myself one day, I'd like to be out there on the golf course and at least look like I know what I'm doing.
Right, right. At least look like I know what I'm doing, right? Be part of the people. But eventually you will get there, because I think that's truly great that you would like to. You're taking up something that's out of your everyday norm. So that's tremendously great. Now, what has been like your ups and downs in creating content? We know we showcase everything. Of course, we edit, we splice, we put our sound, we make it look so great where some people are just like, wow, she got it together. But what has been like your ups, and what has been your down in creating content as you're creating on a daily basis, or every other day?
I want to say one of the downs of creating content is just simply that algorithm. And so I
Mm,
tell myself that I'm only going to worry about what I can control. I can't control the algorithm, but what I can do is put the content out there so that when my people do find me, They have
Yeah.
content that they can watch every day. They
Yeah.
can fill their cup. They can fill their own cup just from watching my content. The
Mhm.
algorithm is definitely something that's a little discouraging, and then too sometimes it can be discouraging. A
Yeah.
lot of times they want a whole lot of deliverables, and they want to send you something that is not equate to what you should be getting, especially as a creator of color. I
Yeah.
find that a lot of brands just want to lowball us. They want to give us the bare minimum, and they're quick to write us off if we're not going to settle for what they want to give us. Some of
Correct.
the ups of content creating, again, I just have to talk about the online community that I've built. That has been a true blessing to my life, especially in this season. And also just the opportunities that I've gotten. And so it was one of the major ups. I want to say is I did a campaign with a plus size fashion retailer, and one of the items I selected was a suit. And so
Mm.
earlier this year, I needed to take updated headshots. I was able to repurpose that for those updated headshots. And so
Okay.
it's taking aspects and certain benefits and making them work for me. So then my
Yeah.
audience will see that, oh, well, she wore that a few weeks ago or maybe sometime last year, but here's how she repurposed it. So then it's more authentic than me just trying to push something off on them to buy.
Yeah, and I think you're showcasing where you're able to shop in your closet. It's okay to use, I think we don't showcase that much where we're able to wear our clothes more than once. Even if we're getting for a payment
Hmm.
or a barter or however, you're showing to people that it's okay to wear this piece once again. And I thank God for being a woman where
Hmm.
you're able to change your pieces around and really showcase, wow, you show it this way, now it's another way. Now it's another way, even though it's in the same form. It's just showcasing, wow, you're just making use out of your closet. So I think that's tremendous. Now, as
Thank
you're
you.
building, of course. So as you're building and moving forward, what is your end goal for your brand as you're moving into this content creation? What is your end goal?
So if you had asked me this question about 6 months ago, I would have said I will grow my content creator business and maintain a full time job. But for the past 2 months or so, I have been doing content creation full time. And that
Okay.
was not something I was expecting. And so I've contemplated, is that my future? Is creating content full time my future, or will I be able to balance content creating and maintaining a full time corporate job? So to be completely honest, I'm not exactly sure what the future holds. I feel like I'm just
Right.
taking it one day at a time. I'm not afraid of doing it full time.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to rely on my income and to do things I enjoy to be
Yeah.
in the hands of an algorithm or whether I show up every single day. But I would
Yeah.
love to see perhaps my own collection with certain retailers that I love. I would love to see hosting an in-person event, maybe in a few years, like a retreat, where I could
Yeah.
get some members of my online community to, meet in person, and just things like that. So yes, growing, scaling, bringing on a team, I think too, because responding to emails and doing all of the things, it's a full time job in its sense.
Now, that is part of the angle. I think a lot of people know, but they don't know. They do know that it takes work, and
Mhm.
you're the one person that's the photographer, the videographer, the content, the producer. You're
Yeah.
writing down, you're getting your information, you're deciding, you're styling yourself. You're putting all of these things into place and still pushing through. And I know people know, but they really don't know, until when you're in the thick of things. It's
Right.
one thing to be on the bleachers, but it's a different thing to be on the field. You see? So of course you
Mhm.
could feel it with
Mhm.
the excitement, but when you're in it, it's a whole different feel. So I commend you because it's not hard, but it's not easy. So now, is there anything that you would like to share with anyone or anybody that's probably would like to showcase their life through content and that's probably struggling or don't have an idea, or if there a quote or scripture that you live by to keep you going? Because I know content creators, we have our ups and we have our downs. But what is something that keeps pushing at you to
Mhm.
say, keep going, that keeps pulling at you, that you would like to share with your supporters?
Um, Sure. So the first thing I would say is just start, wipe that camera clean, and
Hmm.
put on something that you feel beautiful in, and just
Yeah.
start. Talk about the highs, the lows, just remain authentic to yourself, but really just start. And one thing that keeps me going is something I listened to in a sermon between, I'm sorry, a talk between Pastor Stephen Furtick and TD Jakes.
Okay.
And TD Jakes talked about how when he first started his church in West Virginia, how he only had maybe 40 or so members of that church, and
Mhm.
then it soon grew to 400. And of course, now the Potter's House is one of the biggest churches in Dallas. And so, one
Right.
thing he said that has stuck with me, and I watched this maybe 5 years ago, was that when you honor your 40, you will get that 400. You honor that 400 will become 4,000, 40,000, 400,000 and beyond. So I look at it like I've got, 300 people on my list. One day that could very well be 3,000 or 30,000. So let me make sure that I'm doing right by the 300 people that I have on my email list.
That's awesome. Because again, we want to make sure we honor the people that has been there since day one, or our quote unquote
Hmm.
our day ones who's been supporting us, because that's where the building. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what marketing tool you use, word of mouth will always be the number one. I don't care what AI, what
Absolutely.
robot, what you come in, word of mouth will always be the best, no matter what. You can watch all the YouTube, you can see with your eyes, you can even feel it. But when someone is able to explain and break it down, that's the best way to convince that person to you or to what it may be, because they take trust knowing that I know this person, so I know I'm gonna trust this individual, this product, and so forth. So again, Janetha, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Joy. So great to have you on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you all know, keep in mind that you would like to patronize Coffee with Joy. Please make sure that you follow our Q codes that's located on our screen here. So any monetization will work. We appreciate it. And coming up next week, we have my guy Kent as we talk about branding. With all things branding, marketing, keep in mind that if you're looking to continue to build your business, we have the expertise. We have the guru here, Kent, who will talk about branding. Keep in mind to like, subscribe, follow, and share, as well as comment. Share, share, share. And if you would like to be on Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you DM, email. We are all accessible for all conversation. Hopefully that you get to be a guest on Coffee with Joy. And as you know, if it's a weekday or even a weekend, live life on purpose, and we see you next time. Have a blessed day or night. See you soon. We